If you're from Miami or even Broward, you probably heard of a methodology or a gym called SWAT. This coach, trainer, or as he likes to call himself, a movement specialist, has proven that no matter how many detours life throws him on, there's always a lesson to be learned.
Bajo el sol de Miami,
This is SoFlo Sweat Stories with
María del Mar Torres
y Dani Ríos. Sean Anthony, welcome to SoFlo Sweat Stories Overtime.
Thanks for having me, guys. I'm grateful. I'm honored. Thank you for having me.
I feel like you've been here before.
Yeah, I don't know. What's some feeling that I've been
think? Yeah. I think it was like last year or something.
Deja vu, guys. Deja vu.
We're here again. Let's get it. So,
Sean, here on SoFlo, we like to start with something called This or That. And Mari has crafted some very hard preguntas for you.
Get
so
ready.
Prepárate.
¿Cómo qué?
Hey, my Spanish is a little bit okay. I know a little bit of Spanish, but
That little bit is beautiful.
it's good. Like
Perfect.
SOCKS.
¿Eso sí que es?
Dime, energy drink or colada?
Ah, man. Colada.
Really?
Yeah, 100%.
It's interesting.
Energy drinks have too much things that you don't know. Like, read the back of one of them and see if it makes sense to you. At least you know it's coffee and you know it's water. If you add sugar, that's up to you what type.
Let me tell you something. Colada is sugar, then is cafe,
Correct.
and then is water.
But I drink
Trying to remember
I
if...
drink it black.
Yeah, I like black
I
coffee.
drink it black.
Straight with no sugar.
No sugar, no nothing. Boom, straight to the head.
Wow.
So that's why, for me, that's the power move if you're going to
Yeah,
go
no,
with coffee.
I'm totally agree with you. It's better, even if it's sugar, you know it's sugar.
No, but it still tastes good.
It is
that
not.
way.
Exactly.
Let's be real. It's a lot better with sugar and a little crema. Crazy,
Sean
right?
used to welcome everyone at his gym
Everyone.
with coladita shot. I remember that.
Especially on Saturdays or for
I don't remember if it had sugar.
assassination.
Assassination.
Oh, no, it has
Yeah,
sugar. I use brown sugar.
We'll go into what assassination is later on in the episode. All right, favorite cheat meal
Oof, there's a couple, but
when you gotta have.
sushi. Sushi is my number one stunner. But fried sushi, because people think, oh, sushi is healthy. There is some very, very, very unhealthy sushi out there. So don't get it twisted.
Yeah, 'cause
fish. They're like,
I was
where's
about
that?
to say, like, I didn't know sushi was a cheat meal.
Oh.
I'm like, I feel really good. I'm like, I'm eating healthy today.
Girl.
When I'm eating sushi.
It's a
That's
better
what we
choice.
think. That's what we think.
There's some health options when you go to eat sushi, but it's not all. There's cream cheese. There's a lot of stuff that they stuff
In Colombia,
there.
they put sweet plantains.
Oh my
So
God.
good.
But that's the best. That's
Madurito.
but that's healthy.
That's healthy. Yeah, it is.
Tampoco pues, because it's like frito.
Yeah, but fried.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, well, I mean, but plantains are still a healthier version of any, it's a banana basically, but that
Whatever you say, Sean. Whatever you say.
Remember, there's a difference between health and wanting to get in shape, right? So these are things that, and let me take that back. The mirror image versus the health image, right? And a health image may have nothing to do with what I call a mirror image. You're healthy. So that's the focus, in my opinion. For
And
me.
you could actually look good, but not be healthy, right?
Correct. 100%. And it's funny you bring that up because
Yeah.
as a bodybuilder, I was not healthy, but I looked.
Wow.
I looked the part. Yeah, I mean, I took steroids. I ate like not enough food, not enough calories. I ended up in the hospital the day of one of my shows, but that's another story.
That's
I
not
cramped
good.
up. Yeah, I cramped up. I did what's called a sodium depletion and then a sodium load. That's playing with science. I'm not a scientist.
You see, deja vu. Betty, one of our first episodes, she talked to us about that. She was in Miss Olympia, runner-up.
Dangerous.
Yeah.
And I did. I ended up, I have footage and everything because I was like, I told my buddy, I know you can't tape, but tape. So he just left the camera running on his leg.
Damn.
Hey, you're okay? I was back there. I didn't know.
Well,
Wow.
this or that has turned into story time.
Yeah.
We have to. We
Let
have
me
to
ask you
this or that.
another this or that. Dog
Awesome,
or
man.
cats?
Dogs or cats? I like them both, but dogs for me.
Okay.
I just, I'm a dog guy.
He's
What
a
can I
French
say?
bulldog
She
guy.
knows, like, I'm trying to capitalize on her dog. One.
You'll babysit Zico one day, I promise.
Zeke.
Last one. What is a better workout that you can't miss? A squat or a deadlift?
That's a touchy subject today, but for me, squats. there's nothing that can compare to a squat. You know, you could do your research, look up Tom Platz, and people like say something funny, but squats are gonna stimulate your nervous system, in my opinion. Again, everything is my opinion, more than a deadlift can ever do. And that just depends, obviously, on the weight and the person. But you're putting direct pressure on your spine to basically balance a bar with now weight. So if you move incorrectly, you know, your spine can be compensated. That's your nervous system. So again, to me, squat, definitely over deadlift.
That's a deep explanation.
It is.
Because people just think it's a squat.
Yeah, let me get onto the bar, you know, and bringing that up, if you guys don't mind me throwing this in here, you know, I'd like to give my condolences, and I'm sure you guys would. I'm not sure if you guys were aware that a young lady,
Ariadna Esparza.
yes, passed away. You know, in the gym, they say she was squatting. Doesn't mean the squat caused it, but the pressure, you know, and the intensity of that move is just very, very, you know. So again, my condolences to the family, and you know. And wow,
I was reading that lack of oxygen. The breathing is so important.
That was my question. How's the lack of oxygen? If
breathing technique is so important, because again, you're talking about putting pressure on your body, and by holding your breath too long, you can knock yourself out.
What?
You know, so
crazy.
It's intense. Working out is not something to be played with, and they really have to know each person is different. Everybody's you don't know someone's past if you don't ask.
Yeah,
if they have asthma, if they have, you know, any again, 100% breathing issues or complications. So you have to really know your client before you put them on specific moves. As a matter of fact, I don't know, have you ever squat with me? I used to tell people that they got to earn my squat rack. Like, they'd be like, yo, you have that there. What is that for?
And you were very careful, though. Like, whoever was on the squat rack was because Sean had full attention of you.
100%. I don't think it's to be taken for granted, because any slight mistake can be devastating. As we
let's talk about your way of train people, because when you open SWAT Made, you say that you want to offer to people something opposite of the regular
the traditional
fitness, the traditional fitness camp. What's the difference that you offer?
You know, what I wanted people to realize is you don't have to squat, let's just say. That just depends on your direction of and when I say squat, I'm talking about with a weight and a bar, right? Squatting can be just standing against a wall and squatting your body down. If you know the correct form and movement, which is why I call myself a movement specialist, I want to teach people how to move. I always say that. I just want to teach people how to move. Because if I teach you how to move correctly by yourself, then weight is not going to be an issue, because you know your alignment. You know where your back needs to be. You'll know what a hinge is, which most people don't understand a hinge. You know, and you need to be able to hinge your body correctly so you can engage your core and protect your back, your spine, your lower back. It's a process. You have to learn how to move, just like dancing.
Right.
You know? Everybody can dance a little bit, but like salsa or merengue.
But not everybody got the moves.
Right, they don't know
how to move.
Let
me talk about salsa.
They don't know how to move correctly, right? But
yeah.
It makes sense when you think about that. You know?
Let's start from the beginning. What made Sean choose a career in fitness?
I mean,
wellness.
If we go that far back, you know, it really Baby Sean, just I've always cared for others. So the reality is, I just knew that something that I would do would be in the line of helping others. And ever since I've been a trainer, that's just been my goal. I've always just wanted to see somebody feel better about themselves and know that it's not, don't try to look like this guy or that girl. Realize every day you can get better. You know, and one is two, and two and one is two. Every day you're adding, you know, to your benefit of getting better at something, whatever that thing is. So the starting, you know, I just decided to.
But what is the earliest childhood memory that you have that make the person that
was it middle school? Was it high school?
High school. You know, I was a chunkier guy, and you know, every guy wants to have the girls like that. They weren't after me, you know. So I was
a guy fully of love.
I was fluffy lover. You know, certain girls liked it, but I was like, oh man, I want the masses, or you know, I want to be attractive. So I started considering it, and boom, sure enough, I started to try to lose weight one summer. I put a plastic bag over myself. The wrong way to do it, but I was ignorant. I didn't know.
Right.
And then I was lucky enough to go to a bodybuilding show. And I saw a guy's physique and I go, okay, that's what I want to do.
Como que?
Okay, you know, I was like, that's it. Hey, if I can look like that, the legs and it, I'm like, wow. So that got me started.
Was this high school in South Florida?
Miami Killian.
I told you before.
You ask, I got to answer.
I'm a Sunset girl.
Ay. ¿Cómo que? ¿Cómo que sunset?
Miami Sunset.
I know sunset.
Sham, who's the idol or the person that you follow when you were young or even today?
So again,
I mean, in terms of bodybuilding or
bodybuilding.
right?
I mean, there's quite a few, but Arnold, who can, Arnold just inspired me, the voice and the acting. And then, but when you watch him in a show called Pumping Iron, then you really get to know the Arnold that I'm talking about.
Arnold.
He's a psychologist.
I know Mari really wants to say something. A very famous line.
Well, yeah, I have to say that I'll be back.
I'll be back.
I mean, that's what I say every day. I'll be back. I'll be back someday with my trainings, with my everything. You're gonna see it.
It'll happen. And again, every day that you don't think you're there, just remember, every choice that you make is a part of training. It's not just what you do in the gym. It's what you do outside of the gym. Your food, your attire, because people that don't feel comfortable about themselves tend to not dress a certain way, right?
Yeah.
So when you put an attire on, it forces you to go, okay, I don't like how this looks so much, so I need to, but
Okay.
everything helps your progress.
So you said that you competed. How old were you when you first walked on stage?
Wow. I think my first show was 1980.
Yesterday.
Yeah, 1980 something.
Daniela, wow.
And you were how old when you So yeah, I did. My first show was the Teenage Miami Beach. And owner of the gym was Tim Beatty, and I used to train
Wait, you were a
there.
teenager?
Yeah, I had to compete. I wanted to compete in a teen show.
Damn.
So I did. I think it was 17 or 18, and then my following show was the Teenage Florida. And I won. My first show I won over. Man, that was a mess. They didn't have enough guys to be in one competition, so they put us all together, all the teenagers, lightweight, bantamweight, heavyweight, super heavyweights. I'm looking at these guys.
Mijo, that's scary.
I was terrified. I'm not gonna lie. I was looking at this one guy. I'm like, I can't believe this guy convinced me to do this. How? But I ended up beating the guy because his symmetry. That's what the guy kept telling me. You have symmetry. They don't have symmetry. Don't worry.
Who pushed
Okay.
you? Who was that person that pushed you in that moment?
I pushed myself, but that gentleman,
Kind of.
he was the guy that I saw on stage. He told me to come to his gym and he would train me. And his training was basically giving me a magazine and going, okay, now that you signed up, read this and educate yourself. You got a question, come over here. I'll be in the back.
Wow.
Which was probably a blessing in disguise because that made me dig deeper into the anatomy.
Right,
movement,
theory.
like not just, lift heavy weights, understanding that every position of your hand makes a difference. And most people don't just curl. No,
Right.
you need to understand that just that little turn is going to hit two different heads. The bicep is two muscles. That's why it's called bicep. So there's two ways to hit it, So it's a lot.
I love that. That's
I think
that's
we
very old
kind of
school.
knew that, but we never really realized it was like two by.
Right, like
No.
tricep is
Right.
three different heads.
Mind blowing.
And then the quadricep is four heads.
Four.
And the hamstrings is a bunch of strings.
Of
Believe it or not.
course.
Yeah, it's a
And it
bunch.
makes sense.
It's stringy.
Right.
So
That's very old school, and I love everything that is old school.
yeah.
But today, people obviously doesn't, and they're not interested in knowing and learning about all of this that you're explaining right now. So what do you think about fit influencers?
So I think that just our society in general and this generation is everything's fast, So the fact that someone that looks good can just go, yeah, I'm a trainer, and I don't knock anyone. Everybody has something to offer, correct? But it's not just it's taking the time. Everything's fast. So the way that I learned from mentors, people that I worked alongside, or bodybuilders that I met coming up, and watching them. Yver Saleh, Dod Romero, let me tell you, this guy has been, and that's another mentor of mine, still a mentor of mine, and he trains, some famous people. But again, just someone that I admired his methodology, his way of training. But yeah, it's just the influencers or fitfluencers. I mean, everybody's a fitfluencer.
But
Right?
how can you survive in all of this? You're saying everything is so fast right now. Everything is on social media, and you're telling me right now that you need to be like in person with your people. I mean, you need to be there to teach how to train. So how you survive in all of this? I mean,
it's been a tough ride. Let me tell you, the survival is that I always tell people. They ask, man, how do you continue?
Right.
I have faith. God is my backbone, my family, where He's placed me in life. They're all lessons with blessings, or blessings with lessons. And
Another quote we could do a shirt with.
I've been many places in my journey, right? And I always say, just embrace the journey, because it's like a roller coaster, some people say, or taking a tour somewhere. There's going to be curves, hills, slopes, accidents along the way. You just try to avoid them or be safe.
And learn to navigate it.
Oh, I like that. You see that?
Sean,
Navigate. Let me put a note there.
Yeah, because I mean, you have to adapt.
Yes,
yourself to everything.
It's been
you need to record yourself,
and that's something we wanted to ask you.
What I said, 86 or 85 was my first
80s?
show, and then 88. So you're talking. Once you say 19, people are like, "Oh my God,
¿Cómo qué?
¿Cómo qué?" Yes, I'm climbing that hill. So yes, you have to adapt. You got to be like Bruce Lee says, be like water. Be adaptable. There's 4 elements to that. So, water can do many things. It can freeze, it can be steam, so it can flow.
Let's go to the beginning of SWAT.
Beginning of SWAT. First, my first training facility was actually one-on-one personal training facilities.
Okay.
I moved back here from Atlanta. We're jumping all over the place, but I moved back from Atlanta, and I sold my motorcycle because a friend of mine was like, "Hey, bro, what are you doing with yourself, man? Get back into shape, get your things going." It's like, you know what? Sold a motorcycle and opened a spot. And I was there for 8 years. And in the process of that, different training names came up, but SWAT came about because I wanted something, like I told you earlier, something different, something unique, not a gym.
What does SWAT stand for?
And SWAT stands for simple, keyword, because I keep it simple. That doesn't mean easy, because people always get that confused. So it's simple workouts and training techniques, which my goal is to teach people how to work out on their own. I've had people that just they won't leave, even if I teach them, they stay.
And with SWAT, have you always been this first training facility, one-on-one, that was
same methodology. I still kept the same principles. It just enhanced into, I wanted a different name that said more, because that just...
You wanted to rebrand. Right. Sean wanted to rebrand.
That kept me in a lane, one-on-one. So it just meant that I'm going to train you. And I thought, why don't I try to hit the masses, get people together.
Right. And I remember that when I was training with you, not just the methodology and the way of thinking, the machines are different.
He had his own machines, those killer machines.
Well, the creation just came from another experience in life, and I decided, let me take a better look at this. Those machines utilize your own body weight, gravity, and then I added a little, my own little kick to them. So there's now tension and then weight, which the machine don't come that way. But again, it just gave to me, when I felt it on my own body, an unbelievable tensioning of the muscle and tightening that I didn't feel with traditional dumbbell work. And you could, if people look it up, you'll see that lifting weights is different from like a Pilates or yoga. But people are like, Pilates is Pilates. But you go and you do it, even a bodybuilder, he'll be like, oh my God, I use muscles I've never used before. Exactly. Right. He's gonna go, okay, why did this move? But it enhances. So I always wanted to enhance stretching the muscle and contracting the muscle, not just always contracting.
That's why on lower body days or like booty days, it was assassination.
Right. Emphasis on the
and I love
assassination.
I love that you bring it up, the Pilates.
Yes.
In yoga, because as you say, everyone says, oh, that's pretty
Easy
easy.
peasy.
Yeah, and it is really not.
Until they get in there and
They get assessed.
they get a
You're
little
right.
sample of someone that's good at it and shows them a move that utilizes proper movement and control
Proper
of muscles
movements.
that you cannot use anywhere else because
in some way it requires you to learn
correct.
something more than your physique. You need to learn.
How
You need
to-
to adapt.
Correct. And
to
mentally,
something.
you have to be connected, because that's the
Right.
thing. Is that, like mine is always mind, body, and soul. I've always said that, this is a workout, but if you're not connected to the muscle, you're not going to train it as well. But also for your mental health, it's beautiful. But you have to have that coaching, because if the coach is just go lift 400 pounds on the press and then come see me, it has to be more to it. I wanted to offer people a place of
More than a workout.
oh yeah, definitely a place of refuge, I guess.
Yeah.
A place to have as your release.
Right.
Where we live in such a hard time, and
Where you drain, where
you
you
let it out.
disconnect or
100%.
of everything.
And-
Right. So let's talk about SWAT MADE. What happened?
The pandemic hit.
Well,
Yeah.
let me tell you what.
How did you navigate? There we go, that word again, navigate. How did you navigate the pandemic? Like, did you
When
close
you're a guy
down?
that you like to be in the spot, in the
well,
side.
you have to adapt. You have to be like water and realize that things happen. Be prepared for the next. And I mean, lots happened before the pandemic, but if we're at the pandemic, I had to adapt. I was already utilizing my own machineries that I was coming up with. So I basically put something together that all my clients could use at home and started to go into online training with them. Since they couldn't be out, I would just have them come pick up a set, sign some papers, take it, and then I jumped online and started to train people online in groups. So not just one-on-one, and we would just get on a Zoom call and adapt.
Oh my God, I can imagine Sean.
And
What are you doing?
And the loyalty that was there is second to none. I'm grateful to all my followers and definitely all my clients and family, because that's what they became. They became family.
Yeah.
The pandemic was 2020, right?
Man, pretty much I say 2019 to 2020. But we want to
But
emphasize.
before that detour,
Yeah.
you had a major detour.
I did. I had a major detour.
You went to college.
I went to college. I
You
went away
graduate.
to
Let
college.
me tell you,
yes.
you graduate from college.
And college, we mean?
Yeah, we mean incarcerated guys. You make your mistakes, right? So I unfortunately got caught up in something that I shouldn't have, and just was a lack of how do you say? In my ignorance,
Yeah.
blue collar stuff. I didn't hurt anybody, just ignorance and
Disclaimer.
So just disclaimer for sure. So I did some time. I went away and I got into the books on the body. I did look into more anatomy, actually pressure point stuff. Not training. I knew how to train already. So while I was there, I wasn't gonna be like everybody, come do burpees with us. No, I was really focused on the books, and I did get my workout in.
What do
but-
they call those burpees in prison? What do they call
Yeah,
them?
man, they got so many names for them. I
They
just
hit.
yeah. I just
Why do they
call
do that?
It's what they do.
How
there.
they call it?
I forgot. I don't know.
I
It's
don't
like
even
prison
know the name.
burpees or like
they got prison
yeah.
burpees or but it's just their way
there's
of
a
doing
name.
it, that they tap themselves, they'll go down and then they'll come up. So
Big on
the
it.
tap is that they're basically squeezing their core.
Okay.
So it's core, then the floor, and then they jump, so legs, and then up, and they come up with so many things in there. Like they'll find a way.
But you focused on something else.
I
in
tried
there.
it. I focused on God first of all, myself, my mental health. I felt that I let people down. I left a lot of people that were dependent on me. So it was a tough time, but again, God has His purpose for everything. So to me, that was the best phase of my life, actually, because it really was going away to college. You got a chance to disconnect and figure out life, because you don't have phones, you don't have all these distractions that you have out here.
Right.
How long were you away?
3 years in total, but away, I was a year and a half,
Okay.
almost 18 months. But I was lucky enough to get my term shortened, and it was a good journey. Let's put it that way.
So I'm sorry. How did you develop like the ability to survive
Yeah, again, adapting in there.
over there? I mean, how do you allow yourself to grow and stay growing when you were in such a place.
Yeah, I use the same principles that I do out here. I remained who I am, which is most important. And believe it or not, I blessed people there, but I even had a counselor tell me once, hey, you're here for you. You can't worry about these other people. And I was like, but I don't know that. That's just not me. There were people there that, I'm not a chiropractor, but I know how to kind of adjust people if they're in pain. And they would come to me and be like, man, I heard you helped this guy out of my bag. And I was like, I could try, but I can't promise you. And again, I ended up becoming this guy that would help everybody. They would want to, hey, let me bring you some macros. I'm like, it's not about the macros. Let's come. Let me see if I can help you. And then I would tell them also what you're doing wrong. Stop sleeping on your belly. Sleep on your back. So again, I learned to adapt in there. I mean, I made my protein bars in there because I couldn't eat a lot of the food that was in there. So luckily that, the certain things that you could get, I figured out a way, to eat clean as I possibly could and get this thing good so I could come back and figure this out here again and not make the same mistake twice.
That sounds pretty easy, but I know it wasn't.
In the moment.
In the moment, I prayed and made sure I made my connection with God and stayed close to my family. And that's the great thing is your circle is everything. Without that, I saw so many people that didn't have that. They went in and they had nothing. So, you have to be humble. And if not, the world will humble you, right? Or life will humble you, they say. So
that's true.
Yeah.
I think I've always been a humble guy. And again, so.
I like your shirt, Sean.
SWAT made, so God made is SWAT made. If you can't see it, but that's the shadow. The shadow of God made is SWAT made because he's the creator. I'm just doing his work.
I don't know why every time I say SWAT made, I think of like DJ Khaled. Like SWAT made.
DJ Khaled. Maybe because he's old like me. He's been around for a minute. God did. That's what it is. That's what it is. God did.
SWAT made.
That's what it is.
Okay. After all of this, after pandemic, you say something happened. You disappeared.
Because you said it was 2019 to 2023.
Yeah.
Yes.
So it got rough. And after the pandemic, after you get through these struggles and then going away in 2014 or 15 and coming back and building my business back up and 2019 coming and hitting me and 2020 again and another, I don't like to label anything as disaster. So let's just call it another miraculous message from God. I was diagnosed with cancer. I had lower back pain and I was diagnosed with multiple myeloma. It was very devastating to me because I don't know what that is. I just know the word. Everybody just knows cancer, but there's so many cancers. And that was a blow, but I had the support of, again, my family, the doctors, and then obviously my right hand, my left hand, my heart, my back, my girl, she is...
Your brain.
My brain, my backup brain. If we need anything that I can't answer, we can reach her. Love you, baby. Thank you for helping my brain. But it was a tough phase, but I realized many years ago, and that's how I think I deal with any adversity, is just realize that it's going to strengthen you in some way. It's just a matter of how you take that time in your life and utilize it.
And not let it knock you out.
Not let you. I mean, if the purpose of it is to do something, figure out what that is in the process, just like anything, and learn something. So it was a tough time, but you realize who your people were, who's closest to you, who's got your back, who's by your side, and
Mijo, because you disappeared off the face of Instagram.
Right.
Because we always saw Sean posting those motivational quotes, those Hollywood masterpiece videos that you make. Those were gone. And when I saw that post, I'm like, what?
And it takes time, to do those things.
Shit.
You guys know this. It's not like, just make a video and boom. You need to edit. It's a lot of work. So, I spent a lot of time in the hospital. Every week I was there for treatment.
What made you Go to the doctor and get checked.
Well,
the pain in your back.
The pain in my lower back, but I lift weights, and I just
Right, that will
figured
be
that could have been easily like, oh, I'm
Right.
just sore.
Yeah, exactly.
that's how I looked at it. But my girl is like, we need to check and get a little deeper. Women.
We always know. We
Yeah.
have that sixth sense.
But it is,
everyone.
and that's why
Thank God.
I give praise to women, especially mothers. So again, she's a mom, and you guys know your instincts, right? So she just was like, let's just look further. As men, check your bodies, guys. Let me tell you, don't just ask, not a big deal. Everything that you see or feel that don't feel right, check it out. Especially when you start to climb up here in these, 50s and up.
If you were born in the 19s.
If you're born in the 19s, there you go. So, yes, we dug deep. And they found what they were looking for or what they weren't looking for. And fortunately, I caught it ahead of time. I was, proactive with her pushing, because if not, I'd have been like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And because she was proactive and we got there, we knew early enough. And I changed my eating completely. I went vegan pretty much, no meats, all organic, to help the process. That's what it is. Listen, cancer is not just hereditary, in my opinion. You're feeding yourself. You're feeding cancer. Cancer is like a plant. And sugar's the killer too. Let me tell you, that's black coffee. That's why, but if you're gonna have sugar, try to go the healthier way.
It is what you eat.
Do you think the cancer will be? I mean, the source of cancer will be an emotional thing,
like
or
stress.
cancer? Yeah, will
So
be
that's where
related to an emotional.
It is if you
illness.
allow it, right? So you mean to get it or to
get it?
I mean, it could, because stress is a part of it. It's you can't tell your body what to do. The body's the most miraculous thing.
Yeah.
So if you're starving your body mentally, you're stressing your body. So there's certain things that your body's going to release when you're stressed. But I mean, I'm not a doctor, so I can't give proof on all that stuff. But again, I don't just think it's already. I think it's a lot of food, honestly. But again, I think every person, unfortunately, has some sort of cancer in them. It's just a matter if it's fed.
Right.
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 And again, it's just by genetic, your body can possibly be passed. I don't even think it could be passed. I think it really, honestly, has to do with food, because now you're more educated.
That's so scary, yeah.
It really is. And if you really look at food, that's another topic that you guys
Yeah,
might,
like what we eat, sometimes you don't even know
some
what
countries
chemicals you're
don't
eating.
allow things that
Yeah.
that they allow here in the supermarkets. Like, honestly, like, so.
Some countries, cough, cough.
So what was the driving force that pushed you to keep in the business of 30s?
It's my passion. I love to help others. As I said earlier, that has always been my drive in life, is to make sure that I can give back. God's gift to me is the gift of connection. I can connect with others well, and there's not a discomfort because of, let's say, my education. I never use big words when I train people. It's just something that they'll,
At the end of the day, it's how you make them feel, what you did with them.
Yes,
Like,
it's really that you don't feel intimidated by someone. Hey, to go simultaneously on that move, and they're like, "What is that?" But it's
Right.
it's not everybody knows, and these are this instead just go with both your hands, and then the next one go with one. Not unilateral and simultaneous. Obviously, through the process, once you get to understand what both hands is, I'll tell you. So that's super. Like, this is supinated, putting your hands up, or pronated, but it's unnecessary. Just put your hands down and grab the bar. Or put your palms up and grab the bar.
I would be like, como que?
I simplified. Exactly. Like, it doesn't need to be as complicated as now the influencers do, climbing on there, picking up a couch. And it's very simple. The body moves in 4 ways. Laterally, you push and pull, laterally, and circular. And I mean, that's it. That's it. So utilize all of the functions of the body and use that balance and move correctly. The key.
If Sean wouldn't have been a trainer, you already said you would still do something in the field of helping people, probably philanthropy. But
if I wasn't,
let's cut that out. What would you be? A Hollywood star.
For sure.
That's why. I don't think I would want to be in the spotlight like that. Honestly, I don't. I see those people and I feel sorry for them, honestly, at times, because we don't know it because we're not in there. But the pressure of every day living up to this standard is very, like almost our lives right now with Instagram, or like Instagram, or you have to live up to these standards. There's nobody that's real. That's like, maybe someone won't talk about what I'm talking about. No, I went away. I did time. I there's times I've been broke and being like, I got to get this business back up. How am I going to do this? And by the grace of God and the people around me, yes. But if I wasn't a trainer, never. That's a really good question. I think maybe in the medical field, maybe, I don't know, maybe a nutritionist, but there's something still, I think it would still be
something related.
Related. If not, okay, I love trucks. So there you go. I drive or heavy equipment. I love moving things around, and I've always been good with forklifts and stuff. So maybe a crane operator, to be very honest.
So what's your philosophy when you're training people? How do you motivate them? Because some people, it's like, oh no, I can do that. I mean, that's so hard for me. I can.
I honestly try to tell people, bring what motivation you have, and I'll teach you something that's gonna fit into your way, because not everybody trains the same way.
Right?
Example: someone was a dancer, and again, what I said is, let's incorporate your dance moves with your work. I said, like, you can't do that. I'm like,
let me show you.
Don't tell Sean what he can't do.
The word can't is one I always tell him. Go put that in your trunk and then come back in. Don't use can't. Oh my God, okay. So again, and you might say, how? Well, there's movement, right? To the side, there's movement to the other side. Your legs are moving. So now do it with some small dumbbells, and instead of just moving and coming back, stop here and then do a little dip. And then do the same side 10 times and the other side 10 times. And she was like, wow, but I feel that. I'm like, yes, but that's why dancing is great, right? But by getting them involved and realizing it doesn't have to be, okay, squatting, and then they open up and they go, wow, so I could kind of do this. I'm like, yeah, you don't even have to use weight. You could go plyometric, you use your body weight, you could jump, bounce. So it doesn't have to be one size fits all. It doesn't mean you have to work out on a machine. You don't even have to use weights. You can use your own body.
Right.
So
what's your favorite, like, talking about that, like, what's your favorite music genre to work out with?
I don't have a favorite, man. I like it all with everything. Salsa, merengue.
But we have to mention that Sean is from Jamaica.
I was just going to say that. He's not Puerto Rican, y'all.
So
a lot of more fire. We're bringing the yachties for anybody. I mix it up. I honestly do. Even though I like that some people can't take that dance hall stuff too long. Just like with Spanish music, you can't take merengue too much, or reggaeton. You got to mix it up. So as you know, I mixed it up all the time. But favorite, I don't think I have a favorite. I just I like hype. I like to bring you to the club,
right.
Because that's the thing is, I want you to be able to relax. Don't take the gym so seriously. If you're going to be a bodybuilder, then again, I get it. Okay, go somewhere else, or let me not bring up any other, But again, so there is different strokes for different folks. And for me, I like people that want to enjoy their life.
I like that.
And have fun. It doesn't have to be so serious.
If you want Daniela have fun, you need to put some bachata.
Hey, we can
I thought you were going to say vallenato for a second. I'm like, I don't think I can work out to vallenato.
No, you're not bachata girl.
Bachata.
She's
You don't like bachata.
You don't like bachata?
Everything.
Oh, okay.
Everything.
So I'm going to
No, but I
Spain.
do like to work out, like Spanish rap. Super random, I know.
Well, my girl is, she like that ratchet Spanish, what's the guy's name? Bad Bunny. Everything Bad Bunny.
Oh, okay.
But he has some good music, the beats.
Yeah.
The words, hey, I'm learning.
¿Cómo qué? ¿Qué dijo?
It's just as bad as Jamaican music, The reggae is bad. Everybody's talking about assassination.
So, Jean, what's coming in the future?
The future is wide open as long as God allows it. But right now, I wouldn't say converting. I'm just adding to my arsenal, because the pandemic showed me a light that I knew was coming anyway. People don't necessarily want to go to the gym. There's too much craziness in the gyms. So training from home is a move.
I think it's a new thing. Not a new thing. It's here to stay after the pandemic.
The baby boomers are gonna be older like myself, or aging, sorry, not older, but we're aging. But also when you get to an age where you know what you want to deal with, I don't want to deal with a 30-minute drive to the gym, 30-minute drive back, and deal with that. Get there, and I don't know what the outcome's going to be.
Yeah.
Who's filming themselves in the gym, or so again, home training.
You're waiting for that squat rack, but there's someone taking a boomerang. Oh my God, that
and they might
bothers
not
me so
even be
much.
doing the squats. So again, moving in that direction, and then I made some amazing protein bars, and those are gonna come out pretty soon too.
Nice.
Can't wait to
I
try
like
that.
that.
Anything with food, we're here.
Oh my God, and it's a sweet, so it's good. So it's my treat to me. Like instead of buying what's out there, I make my own.
What's it gonna be called? SWAT bars?
I'm gonna call them
SWAT MADE bars.
SWAT made bars.
just right bites because they're just right, and they're 2 bites in a bar. It's a perfect little protein packed little snack.
Are the infants allowed to eat it?
Yes, everybody's allowed to eat it.
Nice. Yeah, because I need healthy
mom-
snacks.
Everybody.
Mommy would ask. Yes, sure. I would want to know.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Family fun.
That's the direction of still in the health industry. But I think I want to again continue on the same path, right? You have to brand yourself and stick to what you feel passionate about. And I feel passionate about keeping it simple. Simple workouts and training techniques will come out with equipment, but also at the same time a nice protein snack. But also keeping it simple to where you can train at home, or you can choose to go into a gym and train in a gym with either the methodology, a trainer, myself, or one of our trainers. If we get some future trainers and instructors, it's wide open.
Nice.
Either way, you'll be
I love
SWAT
that.
made.
I'm always going to be SWAT made. You SWAT made. Y'all came. Y'all did it.
We're loyal. We're loyal. So to finish this
Beautiful.
this beautiful, amazing interview. What do you like about yourself?
Wow.
Ooh, Marty.
She's throwing them out.
I'll be back.
You're back too already. Well, I would. Wow, that's a. Sorry, you stumped me with that one because.
And you can't say, I help people.
No,
Because we know that
No,
Sean.
no,
That's the beauty
No, that's
of Sean.
your gift.
I-
But what do you like about
He's gonna
yourself?
say my tattoos.
I love.
Yeah.
I like and I love everything about myself. I wouldn't change a thing, honestly. I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful that He placed my parents. Placed me with my parents, my family, and all the people He's put in my life. I love the fact that I think, a very humble person. I'm open to learning. I'm loyal, and again, I gotta give the glory to God. I'm grateful that I can recognize, because that's the other thing, is recognizing that this gift that I have, it didn't come from a book, it came from Him. Because it's not my knowledge here, it's my knowledge here that people are attracted to. I'm able to talk to them in a way that doesn't make them feel stupid or.
That's beautiful.
Teardrop. Well,
You
thank you
guys
so
do
much,
much.
Sean.
Thank you guys.
Thank
The
you
honor
for your time.
Honor being here. Thank you so much for your time. And
But you know what? Don't forget. No. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, right?
Will do.
Suscríbase.
And it's
Deja vu.
Suscríbase.
I'm gonna get a drink.
Dele like. Síganos en las redes, en Instagram, Facebook,
En
donde sea
todas
que nos vea.
partes, sí.
I don't know what they saying, but Dale.